Good morning, all. I welcome you for the presentation on preventive maintenance and care for vibration test systems, presented to you by Mr. G. Vijayanand, my colleague, and myself from. Today, we are going to discuss you about importance of maintaining your vibration test systems, some of the bad effects of lack of maintenance, and types of maintenance services we are going to offer you, and various control and testing methodologies in the later of the session. First of all, why should preventive maintenance be performed? Preventive maintenance is the key to extend equipment life and thereby ultimately saving your money and time. Preventive maintenance is performed to improve the reliability of the system, equipment, and thereby increasing your productivity. To reduce unexpected breakdowns, to avoid frequent replacement of very expensive spare parts, and to extend our efficiency cycle. Vibration system vibrates the payload for fatigue or destruction test. This system is having many dynamic parts like in automobile, comprising flexures, rollers, dust seal, bellows, armature, that is the moving coil, bearing, shaft, suitable bolts, etc. So the resultant vibration force generated is a combination of vibration forces experienced at each of these parts only. We also use environmental chambers along with vibration systems. Sometimes unbalanced payloads causing cross-axial or offloading results. The all above said factors may result in damage to the dynamic parts, like I said before, like flexures, diaphragm, bearing seals. They get damaged over a period of time. So you don't need to worry about this. We at Adams, with over 25 years of experience in the supply and maintenance of controlled vibration test systems, for quality and reliability testing of various components and assemblies will provide you systematic service and support. So before moving into the concepts, we will see what are the failures examples in our presentation, some of the worst case scenarios. So firstly, armature is generally suspended over the body with the help of flexures. So when a large payload is tested for longer duration without proper centering or support, or if the load on the armature is not fitted properly, or even in ideal time, if the lock is not provided, the armature may go down or it may stress upwards. That's what seen in the first image. So the suspension flexures wrapped or locked due to the long term loading of the flexure or payload. In some cases, for some armatures are suspended with the help of rubber rollers. So these rollers may tend to tear or break over a period of time. So due to extensive high displacement, low frequency testing. So that is what's seen in the second image. And we have in the first image the field coils damaged after insulation failure. Normally the field coil tend to have experience very high current. They handle very high current for a longer duration. So these currents basically generate the necessary magnetic field by producing flux. Inherently, these coils will develop very excessive heat. So if they are not maintained properly over a period of time, there is a chance this insulation may get degraded. So that needs to be checked on a frequent basis. This can easily be avoided if we frequently check this field coil condition, insulation. So that can be achieved through proper maintenance. The second one, there is a loose connection in the bolt, and it is dropped inside the armature. Sometimes there is a dust cover which is damaged, may allow external components inside the shaker. If there be any mistake while mounting the fixture, or like accidental drop of bolts, if the dust seal is not maintained properly, then that bolt may go inside. Even a small bolt, very small bolt, can cause severe damage to the armature. That is what seen in the second image. As I said, these field coils generate excessive heat due to heating effect and due to handling of excessive current. So this is damage as a result of overheating and poor cooling. Generally, when these high current carrying coils generate excessive heat, though this heat needs to be compensated by a proper cooling system. We provide you proper cooling system, but over a period of time, we need to maintain this cooling system and everything. Without maintaining, this kind of damage can happen. On a frequent basis, we need to check the tightness of the field coils. That will be checked in our preventive maintenance. We use chambers for in combination with vibration testing. When we are using chamber, we need to properly maintain the dust seal of the chamber as well as the seal of the shaker. If by mistake any condensation happens, if the water goes inside, it will condense inside the armature and that may cause short circuit, thereby resulting in the failure of the armature. That is what seen in these two images. Here, what we see is a central positioning sensor. Generally, shaker system is having a central positioning system. Our armature, that is the vibrator, that vibrates in the air with respect to mean position, mean central position. So that will be automatically configured by the central positioning system. It is having a central positioning sensor, that is an optical sensor. There is also one sticker, reflective sticker, you can see in that image. So the white portion of the sticker reflects the incident light into the sensor. If dust is accumulated on the reflective sticker or either on the sensor, that may give erratic movement of the armature, which may result in incorrect center positioning achieved. So that may cause problem to the vibrator. How it will cause, that can be seen in the next slide. So the fluxes will get damaged first. So that will not vibrate about the exact mean position. It may vibrate at a point above or below the mean position. So over a period of time, these fluxes tend to bend or deform. These fluxes are polypropylene fluxes, so they needs to be removed and refitted over a period of time. If it is not maintained properly, that may ultimately result in some other part damage. Yes, that will cause damage to the shaft. The shaft is a hollow cylindrical shaft, made of steel. So this guides the shaker in the bottom through a linear ball bearing. We need to give proper torque to the flexures and engage the armature at the intact position. If cross-axial movement due to offset loading or improper maintenance happened, this kind of damage may cause damage to the bearing as well as shaft. So this can be easily avoided through our preventive maintenance. As I said, if shaft is damaged, then there is 50% chance the bearing also get damaged. This is the linear ball bearing. This prevents the lateral movement of the shaft. So this can be prevented by frequent maintenance. We also need to consider the offset loading while doing frequent tests. One of the examples of offset loading is seen in this image. This is primarily due to the offset loading. We can see a video also. The water is coming out of the shaker, that is we can see in this video. We supply the shaker with compressed air support. This diaphragm is a plenum. This creates a plenum in the bottom of the shaker that holds the armature. So if it is not maintained properly, the armature got stuck in the middle. We provide cooling fans for proper cooling of the vibrator. We need to maintain them by providing separate enclosure or shelter. If that is not provided properly, various factors may intervene, like bird nest formation and rodent intervention or short circuit. So much factors will result in the failure of the blower, which ultimately affects the cooling of the shaker. In the same time, we need to maintain the blower hose also. This hose removes the excessive heat produced in the shaker. So unnecessary movement of personnel near the blower or this area may damage the blower hose to an extent. If the blower hose is damaged, blower fan cannot suck the air from the vibrator. At the same time, if it is not providing proper cooling, this may result in damage to the some other part. Armature is a cylindrical coil that is fixed to a magnesium body through some special bonds. If armature is not properly cooled, that may result in a debonding of the armature. Slip table needs to be removed and maintained frequently. If the load mounted or friction mounted is not balanced, if the bolts we use are excess in length, if excess turning moment is applied, if the drive bar coupling to the slip table is damaged, then that may cause bulges in the slip table. Basically, the vibrator vibrates in 3 axes. So slip table plays a major role of X and Y axis. This plate moves over oil film on a granite surface. So this needs a very frequent maintenance, and the filters needs to be changed on a frequent basis. If driver bar is not properly coupled, sharing of slip table bolts or damage to the bearing may happen. This bearing is an expensive one. So if slip table is not maintained, like we can see in this image, there is a blockage in the bearing, damage to the shaft of the bearing. That will cause in the rough movement of bearing, hence the rough movement of slip table. We need to frequently change the oil of the slip table. See here the condensation from the chamber as the result of this change in this oil color. So whenever the oil changes in its color, we need to change it annually. So for proper movement or smooth operation of the slip table. In amplifier side, we have power modules. These power modules are cooled by cooling fans. These cooling fans will suck the air from the outside and will it also at the same time sucks the dust and moisture. So to prevent the dust and moisture, we have these filters. If moisture or dust is present, that may result in the reduction of life of power module. The left side one is a used filter. The right side one is a new filter. So on a frequent basis, we need to clean this filter or change this filter. Moreover that, we need to maintain a dust-free environment. This is one of the damage due to the rodent intervention. In our Indian condition, we may keep our shaker system near bushes, or we can, in some cases, we may not maintain the trenches. So as a result, rodent intervention comes into the amplifier that may cut unwanted places. Again, it may lead to severe damage to the board and other parts. While if you are switching on the amplifier, some other problem will occur, some other interlock will trigger this. This ultimately is unwanted thing during our testing schedule, which is busy. So hereafter my colleague will take over and he will present you on important services we are offering you and the testing methodologies.
Good morning to everyone. This is Vijayanand. Thank you, Ram Kumar. From this onwards, I will take over of it. So, at this point, till now, you have seen what will happen if the maintenance is not proper, if the system is not under the preventive maintenance or frequently maintained by the experts. So hereafter, we are going to see how to maintain the system based on the preventive maintenance activities as well as the regular maintenance activities. So what are the activities involved in the maintenance and what actions we will offer during the preventive maintenance as well as the general maintenance. So next thing we are going to see how to increase the armature life. So why we have to take care of the armature life? Armature is the very important dynamic movable part in the vibration test systems. This is the one can transfer the vibrations from the mechanical movement to the payload or to the fixture that can help to transfer the vibration as well as to perform your test without any interruption. So we need to take care of the armature to increase the life, to reduce the spare cost and to prevent the breakdown of the system. So mainly there are three factors will affect the armature life. Primarily the running force. Force means the mass into acceleration you can calculate based on your profiles, and secondarily what type of test you are doing. Means you can perform random test, sign on random and random on random, and SRS profiles and shock test you can perform. So each and every test have severe impact on the armature. So what are the things we need to take care to increase the armature life? So these are the risks, high risk factors that will affect the vibrator armature life. So first thing is the high temperature of the raw cooling air. So normally the blower which is connected with the vibrator will suck the high temperature air and it will allow the system to cool. Suppose the blower is not working properly, suppose the blower is not maintained properly, this will affect the armature life. Normally, we will provide a flow sensor and a temperature sensor along with the vibrator to maintain the system in a proper cooling manner. And second thing, the distortion caused by the slapping movements. What is mean by slapping movements? Slapping movements is nothing but the flexure associated with the vibrator which helps to move the armature up and down, and the guide shaft which can help the armature to move in a proper direction. And the third thing is the diaphragm that able to vibrate based on your profile. So these are the main slapping movements that can cause distortion in your test plot. So these parts associated with the armature need to be maintained properly or need to check properly in a frequent manner, or else this will create a damage or a permanent replacement of the armature. And third thing is the high G levels. High G levels is nothing but, suppose if you are giving a 1G, pumping the 1G voltage to the armature, and due to the geometrical structure or the improper parameters used by the user, that will create a 100G acceleration. So that can cause also damage of the armature. And the fourth thing, humidity or the dusty atmosphere. Normally, we recommend to keep the system in the air-cooled environment to maintain the system clean. But some of the places, due to the customer requirement, they are keeping in a open space. So that will create a humidity or a dust accumulation. Once a period of time, this will create a wear and tear in the armature coil. And fifth thing, the high frequency. Before doing the test, we must know the resonance of the armature. So every component has its own resonance. Before testing the any payload or the fixture, we need to check the resonance of the armature. Suppose if your frequency of the fixture or the payload matches with the armature resonance or exceeds the armature resonance, that will affect the your payload as well as the armature. And the fifth thing, running and a chamber. This is a very important thing, always affect the slip table as well as the armature. Running under chamber in an improper assembly, that will allow the water in entering inside the slip table as well as the armature, it will damage permanently. And sixth thing is the lively payload. Lively payload is nothing but the payload which has the supply of oil as well as air and the electrical actuation. So we need to observe continuously when it is a lively payload. We need to check the parameters of your payloads, where it should not enter inside the armature or it should not be harmful for the armature, or else this will create a permanent damage. And the poor control, how it will happen, the poor control, there is a two chances of poor control. One can be created by the user, means by means of choosing the improper parameters instead of, for example, you have to choose a displacement peak, you have chosen a peak to peak, that will create a damage to the armature. And second thing is the accelerometer cable as well as the drive cable which is coming from the amplifier to the controller. So if the drive cable is not properly connected or it got damaged, that will pump the improper voltage to the armature and it will tend to create a damage on the armature. And say poor maintenance of the armature. Every year we need to take out the armature, do the proper maintenance, has to observe for a wear and tear damage, or else this will create a permanent damage. And payload, when you are selecting a payload for the armature, we need to consider the size of the armature diameter. If the payload exceeds the armature diameter, there can be a chances of creating a cross-axial motion and center of gravity will get shifted to the right or left, that will create a damage to the armature. And these are the some minimum checkpoints can be done by the user. So always when you are before starting to do the test in the vibration test systems, you have to check for the environment as well as the some of the components check. So you have to check the amplifier surroundings is clean and it is free of dust. Once you switch on the three-phase supply from the main isolator, please check the fans are operating. Means the fans which is connected behind the power module are operating proper. Whether it is not running, you have to inform to the uh, maintenance people. And third thing, you have to check for the emergency stop function uh, before, before giving the gain. So once you start the system, you have to hit the emergency stop function and check it is working properly or not. This will helps to prevent the permanent damage of the human as well as the vibration test systems. And fourth thing, you have to check the incoming supply voltage, because in amplifier we are having one transformer at the bottom of the amplifier. We are having multiple tappings based on the incoming supply which is coming from the as a feeder. So you have to maintain that supply voltage always, or else it will create an interlock. Suppose if you are supplying for the transformer tapping is in 400 volt, you have to maintain the 400 volt continuously. If it is less or increasing more, that will create an interlock. So the incoming voltage that should be maintained by the user and it should be checked before starting the system. And you have to check the vibrator cables are without damage. You have to check the accelerometer cables are without damage. You have to clean the accelerometer cables with the isopropyl alcohol or with the clean white cloth. And in before once you switch on the system, you can go to the blower end whether it is running in a proper direction, because this is the main component which is which can help the system to cool always. So once you switch on the system, go to the blower end, whether the air is coming out from the blower. It should not suck the air inside. So the direction should be maintained. Why it will happen means, when suppose in the feeder side they change the ROIB in a ROIB in a wrong direction, the blower will start to run in a reverse direction, that will suck the air inside and it will pump the air into the vibrator instead of sucking. So any damage in the cables should be repaired immediately and should be informed to the maintenance people. Suppose if you are not properly observing the cables wear and tear damage caused by the rats or some reptiles, so that will lead to the short circuit of the system that can affect the humans also. So these are the very minimum checks can done by the user. So any damages are observed by the user should be informed to the maintenance people to avoid the breakdown of the system and to reduce the spares cost. So we offer regular maintenance as well as the preventive maintenance. Normally, regular maintenance we will do in the every quarter. 3 months once we have to check the performance of the system, health check of the amplifier, blower, and the controller. So what we will do in the regular maintenance, we will do the pre-test, means in the pre-test we will observe the resonance of the armature, whether it is got shifted or not, whether it got affected, some spikes can occur, that also can be observed in the performance check of the system. So basically by observing the plots, we can able to tell what is the problem, which component are affecting that, which component is creating that spikes, and we will find out and we will clear it off. So normally if the spares are available, we will change the air filters, diaphragm if required, flexures if required. So we will check the bendness, tightness and torque of every component and the current lead. We will check it for a wear and tear damage. If it is recurs, we will recommend the users to replace based on their damage. And this is the preventive maintenance. Normally we will do it in every year. So this includes complete strip down of the system. Whether it is a damage or not, we will strip down the system and we will take out the armature outside and we will check the insulation, resistance and the wear and tear damage of the armature and the armature inserts tightness, and we will remove the flexures. If there is a bend, we will recommend to change the flexures. If it is possible, we will repair that and we will replace it. So once removing the armature, we can able to see the field coils. We will check for the resistance and insulation of the field coil, and if there is any damage, we will repair it. And we will check the damage for diaphragm, guide shaft, as well as the bearing and the trunnion shafts and the trunnion bearings, and we will couple it with the slip table and we will check the performance of the slip table by doing some couple of tests, observing the plots. If there is any abnormalities observed, we will rectify it and we will give the full performance view. This is the image you can see after removing of the blocks which is associated with the armature. So once you open it, you may able to see the dust accumulated inside. So every year we need to open it up and clean it for continuous operation. So there is a center position sensor. We need to check for the voltages. We will recalibrate it to maintain the armature in the mean position during the operation. So in the amplifier side, we will check for the power modules performance by checking the current sharing. All the power modules should deliver the equal current when we are doing the testing. So we will measure that voltages. If it is not proper, we will calibrate or we will repair it and we will restore it. This is the example of the slip table movement. You can see. So this is the hydraulic bearing slip table. So this slip table hanged in a particular distance. From that, this oil is flowing on the bearing. So these are the checks we will do in the preventive maintenance for the easy movement of the slip table without any jerks, and it will help to check the bearing movement as well as the shaft. And what are the benefits of AMC? If you are placing a contract with us, what are the benefits you will have? We are having a three types of AMC. One is one time and is a general and is a preventive. So in one time in a year, if you're asking us to come for a single visit, these are the things can be covered. Complete inspection and the performance review based on the system operation first. Based on the performance of the system, if the spares are available, we will replace whatever the spares required need to be changed, or we will recommend the spares to be replaced immediately. And the full functional check of the amplifier can be done, and the system interlocks can be performed in front of the customer, and we will check with along with the payload of the customer, and we will prove the system without any distortions. And in if you are placing a AMC contract for the whole year, there are two type of visits can be covered. One is general and is the preventive. In general maintenance, we will not open the system completely. Instead of that, we will check the performance of the system, and if the spares available, we will replace it immediately, and we will check the full functional check of amplifier in a quarterly manner. That means for every 3 months we will do the general maintenance. And preventive maintenance can be done in every year once. So in this we completely stripped out the system and we will check the health of each and every components. If it requires, we will replace it. If it requires, we will repair it. So emergency callouts can be covered, that is unlimited in the general and preventive. So if you are placing a AMC contract, there will be a definitely there will be a discount on engineer cost as well as the replacement of spare parts. So, and the telephonic support will be always available. We are ready to support you in terms of testing doubts, in terms of performance doubts, in terms of interlocks. Suppose you are facing interruption during the testing, you can call us for any doubts. We will clarify it and we will confirm it. And we are having head office at Chennai and branch office at Bangalore and Trivandrum, and site engineers are located at Ahmedabad, Delhi, and Pune. So I'm going to explain some of the things need to be take care during the testing. These we have observed based on our visits to the factories, based on our customer testing strategies. We have observed some of the things need to be cared during the testing. So normally the test dynamics is based on the fixture, armature, and the payload. So we need to take care of the payload size before fixing it to the armature. The armature size must be considered, and before doing the test you have to calculate the force based on your acceleration. So without calculating, simply mounting on the uh, vibration test system, you cannot achieve your parameters, as well as it will cause damage to your vibration test systems. And test frequencies, you must know before doing the test what is the minimum frequency you can done and what is the maximum frequency you can done, and the resonance frequency of the armature. So before doing the test, you must know all these frequencies to prevent the damage to the payload as well as the system. And the Third thing, the accelerometers. Accelerometers are the main communication link between the shaker as well as the controller. This is going to control your vibration test system based on your profile. So before placing the accelerometers, you must select the proper parameters that is required for your test, or else it will control in a different way and the profile will be in a different way. So ensure your accelerometers are rigidly mounted with a magnetic base or with a proper glue. And the cross-axial motion, how it can cause damage to the vibration test system. Suppose you are doing a test in z-axis and it is tend to move in x and y axis, that will cause a damage to the armature as well as your payload. So the payload should be in the size within the armature. It should not exceed. If you want a more size, you can use the head expander to avoid the cross-axial motion. And the torque settings. So while you are mounting the fixture or you are or when you are mounting a payload on the fixture, you have to use the proper torque wrench and use the universal torque settings. When you are doing a over tightening, giving more torque for the bolts, it can cause the damage to the armature inserts or to the fixture inserts. If you are doing under tightening during the test, the payload can fall from the vibration test systems. So you need to use the proper torque range and specified values of the torque for the bolts. And the length of the bolt should be calculated to carry out, or else it will create a bulge or it will create a damage to the slip table movement. As my friend showed you the pictures of the slip table damages caused because of the lengthy bolts and over tightening of the bolts. And load support, there will be a two regulators which is provided to lift your armature and to avoid the ground vibration transfers to the payload. Ground vibration is always sensitive to the vibration test systems. To avoid that, we have provided the suspension through the trunnion and with the air regulator. If the air is not properly maintained, the ground vibration will affect your test system as well as you will not get the proper parameters. Your test will also fail. And for the diaphragm, we have provided one more regulator. If the air is not supplied properly, the armature can hit the base and it will get damaged. Normally the accelerometer positions, the control accelerometer positions plays a vital role to run the uninterrupted test. Suppose if you are placing the control accelerometer in a nodal mode, you will get the your test will get aborted. So how to select the control location? Actually, this picture explains there is a two accelerometers fixed on the vibration test system. One is on the fixture, one is on the payload. That there must be a two accelerometers to control this kind of payloads. So you can use a strategy as a weighted average to control the difficult geometry payloads. So if you are placing one control on the fixture and leave it as that will create that may tend to interrupt the test in between. So better to use a multi-control point to control these profiles, to control the difficult geometry payloads. So there is no proper location, means that there is no specified locations for controlling the to place the control accelerometer. The most critical part is to select where is to place the control accelerometer. The position chosen can mean the difference between the damaging the vibration equipment or not. And how to check the performance of the system? by the user. So you just do a normal 1G test without any payload, you can get the drive plot. So the first graph explains the good performance of the system, and second and third shows there is a problem with your test system. This drive plot you can send to us. We will suggest what is the problem exactly associated with your system and what need to be replaced immediately. And thank you. If you have any questions, you can feel free to ask us now.